The future of Justin Fields with the Pittsburgh Steelers is a hot topic in the NFL. As free agency approaches, Mike Tomlin's team is working at full speed to secure the quarterback's stay before the legal negotiation period begins on March 10th. What is Pittsburgh's plan? How does Fields feel about his future with the team? Here, we break down all the details. Since the end of the 2024 season, it has become evident that the Steelers are inclined to retain Fields over Russell Wilson. The former Chicago Bears quarterback has earned enough confidence within the organization to warrant a new contract, but the path won't be easy. With multiple teams searching for a quarterback in free agency, Fields' market value could rise to a point where Pittsburgh may not feel comfortable matching offers. Therefore, finding common ground in negotiations in the coming days is the Steelers' top priority. According to journalist Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports, Pittsburgh's organization is considering a short-term contract for Fields. The idea behind this deal is to give him a real opportunity to establish himself as the team's starting quarterback. However, Fields himself may not be entirely convinced about accepting such a contract, given how last season ended. Pittsburgh really wants to reach a moderate, short-term deal with Justin Fields to give him a more realistic chance of becoming their starting quarterback, Robinson said on 102.5 The Game in Nashville. However, that might not be enough to convince Fields, as he wants a clear path to the starting job. He doesn't want to be here and go through the same situation as last season when Mike Tomlin decided Russell Wilson was his guy and stuck with that decision. Justin Fields arrived in Pittsburgh with high expectations, but his 2024 season was far from ideal. Despite achieving a 4-2 record early in the season, Fields saw action in only 15 snaps from Week 7 until the wild-card round loss to the Baltimore Ravens. This was due to Wilson's recovery after suffering a calf injury early in training camp, reclaiming his spot once he was healthy. It's understandable that Fields feels some frustration about how the situation was handled, but the reality is that if he decides to stay in Pittsburgh, he has a great chance to become the unquestioned starting quarterback. Right now, there doesn't seem to be another passer on the roster who could seriously challenge him for the position. However, Fields holds all the negotiating power. He knows that if the Steelers don't offer him the right guarantees, other teams are willing to bet big on him in free agency. With the quarterback market more competitive than ever, the Steelers are under immense pressure to reach an agreement with Fields. There aren't many attractive options in free agency or the draft, and losing Fields would mean starting from scratch at a key position. The franchise is aware of this and will do everything possible to keep him, but the final decision rests with Fields himself. If Pittsburgh offers him a contract with the security and stability he seeks, he will likely stay. But if the offer isn't convincing, he might choose to explore other opportunities in the NFL, leaving the Steelers in a difficult situation. Do you think the Steelers should do everything possible to retain Fields? Or should they look for other options in free agency or the draft? Let us know your opinion in the comments. The NFL trade market just received a significant shake-up. The Pittsburgh Steelers are seriously considering acquiring DK Metcalf, the star receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. This talented player has proven himself to be one of the top in his position, with over 900 yards in every season and 2 Pro Bowl selections. However, his future is up in the air as he seeks a new contract worth no less than $30 million per year. But, would this be a smart move for the Steelers? Let's explore the details of what bringing Metcalf to Pittsburgh would entail and whether it's really worth making this big sacrifice. Before delving into the details of the potential trade, there's something crucial the Pittsburgh Steelers need to consider: their selection in the 2025 NFL Draft. While the receiver market is taking an interesting turn with players like Metcalf, the team has some intriguing alternatives in the draft. With their first-round pick, the Steelers could target young talents who could form the foundation of the team's future. 2 names being strongly mentioned are Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State and Matthew Golden from Texas. Both are talented receivers who have showcased their skills in college and could be a great addition to the team without the need to give up valuable draft picks. This is a critical point the Steelers must evaluate, as while Metcalf is a proven player in the NFL, the cost of acquiring him might pose an obstacle to the franchise's future. Thus, the Steelers face a tough decision: risk losing valuable draft picks to secure a star receiver like Metcalf, or maintain their future intact and focus on younger, more affordable prospects? Speculation about the potential Metcalf trade has shifted from being just a rumor. The Seattle Seahawks have set a clear price for their star, a first-round pick and a third-round pick in the 2025 draft. It's a high figure, but not surprising considering Metcalf's level of play and his impact on the Seahawks offense. However, this isn't the only hurdle for the Steelers. In addition to the price of the picks, Metcalf is looking for a $30 million per year contract. This contract would place him among the highest-paid receivers in the league, which would be a significant challenge for Pittsburgh's salary cap. The situation becomes even more complicated considering the Steelers also need to make sure they renew contracts for other key players, such as their quarterback and important defenders. Therefore, the Steelers find themselves in a position where they need to carefully weigh the benefits of having an elite receiver like Metcalf against the financial and draft implications this trade would bring. What do the Steelers gain with Metcalf? If the Pittsburgh Steelers manage to complete this trade, they could immediately improve their passing attack. Metcalf is a dominant receiver who, with his imposing physicality and ability to gain yards on long plays, could transform Pittsburgh's offense. Since the arrival of their quarterback Kenny Pickett, the need for a number one receiver who can make a difference in the toughest games has been clear. Metcalf would fit perfectly in that role, helping Pickett reach his potential by having a reliable receiver who can be a constant threat on the field. Metcalf has proven to be an elite receiver, surpassing 900 yards in all of his NFL seasons, which is impressive for any player, especially for a young receiver at the peak of his career. Metcalf's ability to make big plays would be an immediate addition to the Steelers' offense, which is still working to find stability and consistency in its passing game. However, the price is high. By losing a first-round pick and a third-round pick in the 2025 draft, Pittsburgh would be sacrificing their ability to strengthen other key areas of the roster, such as the offensive line or defense. Additionally, the salary cap hit of $30 million per year could limit the team's options to sign other players in the future or renew key contracts. The Steelers would need to make sacrifices in other areas of the team to accommodate this contract, which could affect the team's depth and financial flexibility in the long run. In addition to the option of trading for Metcalf, the Steelers can also look to the draft, where they could find a talented receiver who could be part of the team for the long term. In the 2025 draft, receivers like Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State or Matthew Golden from Texas are shaping up to be attractive options for Pittsburgh. Both are young players who could become stars in the NFL without the high cost of a trade. The Steelers could also focus on other positions that need reinforcement, such as the offensive line or secondary. These areas are also critical for the success of the team and could be just as important for the long-term future. While having a receiver of Metcalf's quality would be a huge boost, focusing on strengthening other positions could be equally valuable for the future of the franchise. It's important to remember that in football, as in any sport, strategic and financial decisions can have a huge impact on the franchise. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers risk losing valuable draft picks and a significant portion of their salary cap to acquire DK Metcalf? Or would it be wiser to focus on the future and select a young talent through the draft, without committing so much of the team's financial future? Opinions will be divided among fans. Some may see Metcalf as the missing piece to turn the Steelers into a serious contender in the AFC, while others may be concerned about the long-term sacrifices this trade could entail. The move to acquire DK Metcalf is not simple. It involves a considerable investment, both in terms of draft picks and salary cap space. However, the immediate impact Metcalf could have on the Steelers' offense is unquestionable. Despite the financial difficulties, this type of trade could be the push Pittsburgh needs to become a competitive team in the AFC. It will be fascinating to see how this story unfolds and if the Steelers ultimately decide to take the bold step toward Metcalf. Stay tuned for updates, and don't forget to share your opinion in the comments. Should the Steelers acquire Metcalf or focus on other, more affordable options in the draft? Your opinion matters. Thank you for following us. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the NFL trade market and everything related to the Pittsburgh Steelers. See you in the next analysis.